I mean, I want to talk about the comedy brotherhood, right? God. Because we've had a lot of comedians on this couch.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned how important it was when Eddie Murphy came to watch you. Obviously, you shared the stage with guys like Chappelle, Chris Rock, all the GOATs. And, there's also been, some friction as well with other comedians, right? Like there's always a little bit of tension between you and others. How do you look at the sort of comedian brotherhood today, especially as someone who's kind of sitting on the mountaintop as far as
it's better, man.
Yeah.
We got older. We all got older. And I think our conversations have gotten better.
Okay.
Right? Like me, Mike, me, Katt. There was always a little ruffle in the water for quite some time, but picking up the phone does a lot.
Yeah.
Having direct conversations and removing the middlemen does a lot. And I think as we got older, we got better at it. And I don't think the respect level was ever the thing. It was about
competition.
Not necessarily competition. I think it was more about the idea of what we felt or possibly felt that we should be doing together and that we weren't. And because we weren't, assumptions are made and feelings are developed and animosity comes in, and through the long, gated timeline, then it just becomes, well, you're not, I'm not. But I think now we understand that we have a job to do, and that job is to be better examples, right?
Yeah.
So mending whatever the problems were in our days of old and allowing this generation to see like we're not afraid to do that, alleviates the future world of conflict for them.
Of course.
So I like that. I like the fact that we're much better today than we were yesterday. We're talking about doing a couple different things together. We got some great ideation happening about how we can shape the culture and give the culture something that they desperately deserve. And that's finding the way for us all to share the screen together. That's one thing that we don't have that frustrates me. When you think about Harlem Nights, they all had that thing together. Like, whether you choose to realize it or not, Eddie Murphy, Richard Pryor, Charlie Murphy, Robin Harris,
Red Fox.
The only person missing from that, regardless of their actions in life after, Cosby.
Yeah.
Right? Like at that time.
Yeah.
Right? And for whatever reason, it was because of whatever the differences were back then, that they weren't all collabing with each other at the level that they should. But imagine a Cosby integration at that time, and we had something to go, oh my God, all of them in that. And Living Color is the closest thing that we have.
Yo, it's Big Ant, the spokesman, man. We back. Another edition of Urban Politicians TV, UPTV. Make sure you stay on your pivot at all times, man. Had to come tap in as Kevin Hart made an appearance on the 7 p.m. in Brooklyn podcast with Carmelo Anthony and Cass. And the conversation most definitely came up as they got to talking about issues that he's had in the past, other comedians, and the two names got to be brought up with that situation, Katt Williams and Mike Epps. And I had a links in the description where you can watch that clip at the beginning in full, as they talked about other things as well when you watch it in full. But they recently did have Mike Epps on there, as he is on like a media run right now. He been hitting different platforms. He was just there recently, but he said, Kevin Hart, we have talked now. We picked up the phone, whoever picked up the phone and made the call, and they are in discussions of doing some type of collaborative piece of product together. I don't know if they're going to do an event, a show, or something together, but hey, after that interview last year, Katt Williams put it all on the table with Shannon Sharp, his issues, his problems, his feelings, and then once you talk on the phone to somebody, you get a little bit older, as he said, hey, bro, well, let's work this out. If somebody generally trying to work it out, we really trying to see what we can do to get past it, as it's been years in the making now with them taking shots at each other. I remember back in the game on Instagram, him and Mike Epps having it out in the comments, Mike Epps saying things in interviews about Kevin Hart, then they'll get past it, and then him and Mike Epps will be cool, then whatever, Mike Epps will jump out there, say, man, he ain't the most funniest, and da-da-da-da, and all this, so it'll turn back into something again. But he said, nah, he done picked up the phone. Phone calls been made, just us talking directly to each other. Katt Williams as well. We seen what happened, things that Kevin Hart just said about him on Breakfast Club. He wasn't feeling, and then recently, the most viewed interview of all time was Shannon Sharp. Everything that he felt, Katt Williams felt, he got all that off his chest. And hey, that might have been what they needed for the long term. Who knows what the end game is gonna be? And he did make a good point, but I do know the game don't work like that at all times. Where everybody don't have to get along, everybody don't have to work together, everybody don't have to be on screen together in the comedy world. And I'm not asking nobody to be fake. If you really feel that you don't really rock with somebody heavily and you want to keep your distance, they done crossed the line with you for what you stand on as a man and your principles of integrity, you don't got to work with them just because it's what the fans of the culture would want. But if you able to, you can. But if not, I wouldn't hold that against you either if it's on that type of level with y'all. But if y'all can get past it for the comedy culture, comedy history, moments like this, and just keeping everything going forward as that generation and other generations, like he said with Harlem Nights, they did something real big with that one. You know, we got those other movies where you had a lot of great comedians in them as well at times, and whether they got super big or not, I always go back to one movie, House Party, is it 2? You know, a lot of comedians was in there. You know, Bertie Mac was in there. They didn't all have, Bertie Mac had a bigger role than Chris Tucker did in that movie, but it was different comedians in there that had appearances that was real dope in that movie, that was entertaining. So it's like certain movies in our culture have that, where you got even Friday, you know, just multiple comedians in them that got to get their shine on, just turned up. So anytime multiple comedians, you know, now everybody rich, everybody successful, people got a budget, and then, you know, you go corporate at times, like you get to Kevin Hart level, he not finna come down and work for a less amount, and everybody want to take a pay cut to where we need to do a movie together. But if they can, it would be dope. But even if they ain't beefing, even if they just ain't working together, they ain't into it no more, and it ain't got to be a division. That's solid as well. I got to respect that. Boys picked up the phone, got it together. Tell me what y'all think. You know us, we all grew up watching all the comedy stuff, all the movies, all the talk shows, all the so when you go home, we all watch Martin as kids. If you didn't, I don't know where you grew up at. We all watched Comic View with all the stand-up dudes. We did it all, original kings of comedy movies, whatever they had going on, the Martin classics, Eddie Murphy classics. It's a part of our culture, bro. Just entertainment, boys cracking jokes, being funny. We love it all. Tell me what y'all think. We got more coming, more videos, all that. 1000 for Shit Show. Stay on your pivot.